Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be talking about Dragon's Dogma 2 because the developers just recently confirmed that there will be a fix on the way. Not only that, but we're also going to be taking a look at some issues that just popped up. With that information being said, there's a lot that we will be going over in today's video. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. There is no doubt that Dragon's Dogma 2 was the most anticipated game this year until things went downhill and things got pretty rocky. For example, if you head over towards Steam, then click on Dragon's Dogma 2, you can see that the reviews are mostly negative with 3,772. Some of you might be wondering, why is this? Why did they just decide to take a sudden turn and start bombing the reviews? There's actually a good reason for it, and it's pretty scummy on the developer's side, but I will leave this up to you guys to give me your opinions and let me know what you think. So with that being said, take a look at this image right here and tell me what you think. This right here is content for this game, it says at the top, and this is for Dragon's Dogma 2. There's a lot of microtransactions, I mean a lot. Sure, some of you might be thinking, well, that's not entirely a lot, but honestly it is for a single player game that absolutely has no live service. I mean, it just seems pretty bonkers. Yet it does not end there because this is a single player game, right? I did mention that, and I'm sure a lot of you know that, but with these microtransactions, you can actually buy a character appearance edit. Yeah, this costs about $2, and not only that, but if you would like to delete your save or possibly edit your character, guess what? You cannot even do that because your save or your character is actually saved on their servers. So no matter what you do, if you were to delete it, throw your PC out the window, it's still going to be there regardless because it's on their servers. This angered a majority of the player base, which rightfully so, and this is what one of them had to say. If we head over towards Dragon Dogma 2's Steam reviews, you can see this right here, which says $1.99 to edit your character appearance in single player game after spending $80. Your character's appearance is on their server, so deleting your save files from Steam user data and making edits within the character creator, even with cloud saves off, does not apply to your in-game character. And as you can tell from that review, they are pretty upset with the developers right now with the character, microtransactions and whatnot. It's not looking good. Which, by the way, if you're curious about the microtransactions, you can see right here at the top, we have Explorer's Camping Kit, we have a Dragon's Dogma music and sound collection, which you can change in-game. You have a Harpy Snare Smoke Beacon, Heartfelt Pendant, and a bunch of these other things that are just completely useless because you can get it in game. You absolutely can. But there is some people out here that are going to fall for this and they're going to purchase this. Yet overall, is this surprising? Is this something that Capcom has done before? Yes, they have done this before, and no, it's not surprising. The tactic that they are using right now is quite similar to a tactic that they've used on Resident Evil, where they released the game and they released some microtransactions right afterwards. The question that comes to my mind right now is, how hard did this affect the community? What you're going to notice right here is a post by a user who says, 3 hours into the release of Dragon's Dogma 2 and the user reviews are sitting at 38%, citing horrible performance and microtransaction hell, including international lack of features to encourage buying microtransactions. Then some of the comments down below were not too excited about this either. One user had this to say, "That's crazy. I read the IGN and PC Gamer reviews and I don't remember seeing a mention of MTX. Seems like they pulled a fast one, lol." There were also some other comments like this user named Leather39 that had this to say, "This isn't surprise at all, unfortunately." Then another user saying, "Agreed, this is almost the new norm for AAA games, lol." And last but not least, this user on the bottom said, the good old days when you could just buy a game and play it. Now they're like those fancy restaurants when you pay extra for bread and water, lol. Guess Dragon's Dogma 2 is serving up some pricey pixels. And speaking of right afterwards, some of you might have seen quite a few reviews and you might be thinking, why didn't IGN or why didn't some of these other ones mention that there were some microtransactions? Well, the answer to that is quite simple. They did not have any microtransactions at the time. They only appeared right after the game was released and pretty much all the reviews were up. Now, besides microtransactions, there is a lot of heat going on with the frame rate, stabilities, performance, a lot of issues issues with just everything. Yeah, there is some good news because the developers did mention that they do plan on looking into the fixes, and this is all revealed over on IGN because this is the information that was given to them by the developers. This right here is what the developers had to say. In Dragon's Dogma 2, a large amount of CPU usage is allocated to each character and dynamically calculates the impact of their physical presence in various environments. In certain situations where numerous characters appear simultaneously, the CPU usage can be very high and may affect the frame rate. This right here, for some reason, does remind me of the issues that Cyberpunk had received at the beginning with all the NPCs and the CPU bottleneck. It just wasn't looking too great on that side. But yeah, this is an issue right now, and it appears that there is going to be a fix for it somewhat soon. Because if we take a look at this post some more, you can see that the developer continues on by saying, "We are aware that in such situations, settings that reduce GPU load may currently have a limited effect. However, we are looking into ways to improve performance in the future." There you go. Now you know that they are planning on fixing those issues specifically with the frame rates and performance, but there is also something else that they are looking into. Let's begin by heading over towards Dragon's Dogma 2 Twitter/X account, and you're going to see this post right here which says, "Note for Dragon's Dogma 2, the advanced pawn search feature is currently experiencing some issues. Other pawn search features such as searching within the rift and offline searches are working properly. We apologize for the inconvenience and have a fix underway for the advanced search." And there is another issue that they do plan on fixing soon. So now you have performance, you have stability, you have all these other things that they do plan on enhancing and fixing up, and on top of that they do plan on fixing the advanced pawn search as well. So there is some things to look forward to when it comes down to Dragon's Dogma 2 updates. There are some positives, but there are some negatives because with this post, there was one user down below that apparently couldn't find his DLC items. This user named Ragha Happyface had this to say, "Can't find my DLC items, sad face," and that's apparently an issue where some players are not able to find their content. And it gets worse in this comment section because, man, the player base really had to let the developers know that they did not enjoy those microtransactions. For example, this user right here named Emo Damage had this to say, $2 to edit my character on a $70 single player game. Capcom, where is your honor? And then another user had this to say, "I hope there is some CPU optimization coming with that patch as well. Love the game, but in dire love of some FPS stability." Then there are some other comments here which are basically stating, fix the frame rate, fix these issues, etc., right? But there is some good news, as I did mention earlier, that there will be a fix on the way. It's kind of up in the air at this moment. Nobody knows when it's going to be arriving. The developers haven't mentioned anything yet, which by the way is completely understandable because the game just released, not even like 10 hours ago. So it all makes sense, it honestly does. But what are my opinions about Dragon's Dogma 2? If you were to put away microtransactions, place it to the side and just forget about it, then I think you're going to enjoy Dragon's Dogma 2 quite a lot. And of course, on the other hand, there is some performance problems. But again, if you can kind of maneuver around those issues and still play the game, I think you're going to enjoy it regardless. So far, I've had a lot of fun when it comes down to fighting these bigger bosses. I mean, there's just so many different ways to approach it. You can light them on fire, you can throw a barrel at them, there's just so many different options, and I think that is what makes Dragon's Dogma 2 so great and has also made their previous game amazing as well. Now, there is something I did experience as of late, and that was when I did create my character. It was a female, but when I loaded into the game, everybody was calling me sir. What the heck? I feel like one of those woke people that are just freaking out about being called the wrong gender. But anyways, yeah, that happened. Regardless of that issue or that bug, I think the game is just awesome. I really do. I had a blast throwing barrels, lighting up different types of beasts, purchasing staffs, going to different places to buy different cosmetics. There's all these different things that you can do to throw onto your character and make it look really awesome. And that is something that the developers did a great job on. Not only that, but when it comes down to the exploration, that is awesome as well because you have different things that can pop up. You can come across different enemies, different loot, different chests, just all sorts of things. I know the loot and the chest kind of go hand in hand, but you get what I'm saying. This game overall is awesome, and I think you should purchase it, but if you're not into microtransactions or you're just turned off by that specifically, then just don't buy it. But if you can put it away and just ignore it, I'm sure some of you are going to have a great time with this game. This right here is pretty much the end of the video. If you have any questions, comment down below. You can hit me up over on Twitter, join the Discord, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.